For 2,000 years, we've been looking at the wrong face.
Not a myth, not a metaphor. The real face, the real man, the real Jesus. Revealed by science and Leonardo da Vinci, Michelangelo, Raphael, the greatest artists in history all painted the same face, but not one of them had ever seen him.
They painted what they knew, what they saw in the mirror, a European Christ for a European world.
But what if we could go back? What if science could strip away 2,000 years of tradition and show us the truth?
In 2001, forensic anthropologist Richard Neve did something no one had attempted. He used science to rebuild a face from the 1st century.
Not from Jesus himself, no remains exist, but from a 1st century Jewish man, a Galilean, just like Jesus. Muscle by muscle, layer by layer, science began to pull a face from the silence of centuries. This is what Richard Neve found. Not Jesus, but his neighbor, his cousin, a man who walked the same dust, breathed the same air. Look at them, really look. One was imagined, the other was reconstructed. Which one feels more real to you? Jesus was not from Rome, not from Athens. He was Galilean, a Jew from the dusty hills of northern Israel. 1st century Galilean Jews were Semites, olive skin, dark hair, dark eyes, average height 5'1" to 5'5", built by labor, hardened by sun. The Bible almost never describes his appearance, but Isaiah wrote that he was not handsome, not striking, just ordinary.
He would have passed you on the street and you wouldn't have looked twice. That was the whole point. God chose to be invisible. Then there's the Shroud of Turin. Controversial, debated, but if authentic, it carries an image of a crucified man, burned into linen by
The face on the shroud. The hair is curly and matted with blood. This is a Semite, a Jew, a man who suffered.
When scientists used 3D imaging on the shroud, they extracted a face, and it looked nothing like the paintings. This is what the shroud shows: a Jewish man, a suffering man, a face that demands you look closer. He was a carpenter, not a king. These hands knew splinters and blistles. They were rough, strong, working class.
He walked everywhere, preached in the sun, slept under stars. His skin was leathered by wind and baked by heat. This was not a soft man. But the eyes would have been different. They say he looked at people and they felt truly seen, for the first time in their lives.
The leper, the prostitute, the tax collector, they came broken and left whole, not because of how he looked, but because of how he saw them.
Jewish men wore their hair and beard according to Torah, not the flowing locks of Renaissance paintings. This was a man of his people, his faith, his time. No purple robes, no golden sashes, just undyed wool, the clothing of the poor, the simple, the invisible.
He was small, 5'1". When Romans nailed him to the cross, they didn't need a tall tree. A short post was enough. The humiliation was complete.
But now we go further. Using artificial intelligence, we can combine every piece of evidence, every clue, and build something no one has ever seen.
Neural networks, deep learning, every data point from 2,000 years converging into one image, one face, one truth.
It's forming. Can you see it? The real face. Emerging from history, from science, from faith.
There he is. Not European, not idealized, not safe. The real Jesus, a Galilean Jew, a carpenter, a rabbi. God made small, made local, made real.
Peter would have wept. "That's him," he would have said. "That's the man who called me, who looked at me after I denied him, and still loved me." Mary would have known those eyes immediately. "That's my boy," she would have whispered. "The one I held, the one I lost, the one I found again."
The Roman soldier at the cross looked up and said what no one expected. Truly, this was the Son of God. Even his enemies saw who he was. This is the boy who amazed the temple teachers. The same eyes, the same intensity, just younger, just beginning. If he had lived to be old, this is what wisdom would have looked like. The same face, just deeper, just more. And if the resurrection is true, this face would have been the first thing Mary saw in the garden. The same features, but somehow more. Somehow everything. This face taught the Sermon on the Mount. It wasn't handsome that made people follow him. It was something in the eyes, something that said, "I know you, you matter." These hands touched lepers no one else would go near, held children the disciples tried to send away, washed disciples' feet. Power didn't look like crowns, it looked like service. This face broke bread one last time, knowing every friend at the table would abandon him, knowing the cross waited, and still he loved them. Still he gave. In Gethsemane, this face wept, "Father, if it's possible, take this cup." Not a superhero, a man, terrified, surrendering anyway. That's what makes him worth following. They stripped him, beat him, pressed thorns into his scalp till blood ran into his eyes. This same face that held children, now swollen, unrecognizable, and still, he forgave them. This is where the paintings got it wrong most of all. They made the cross beautiful. It wasn't. It was ugly, shameful, a criminal's death, and God chose it, willingly, for us.
It is finished. The last words, the last breath, the face that changed history went still.
They laid him in a tomb, sealed it, guarded it. The world went dark. For 3 days, the face that had spoken to storms was silent. But dawn came, the stone rolled away, and the face that had been still was seen again, walking, talking, eating fish by the lake, alive.
Mary didn't recognize him at first. "Teacher," she asked, and then she knew, the same face, the same voice, but somehow, more. Death hadn't ended him, it had completed him. And then he left, but not forever. "I will come back," he promised, and until then we have this face, this memory, this hope.
Jesus said, "Whatever you do for the least of these, you do for me." So maybe the real face of Jesus isn't in any reconstruction. It's in the refugee, the neighbor you keep forgetting to love.
So what do you do with this face? You let it change you. You let it remind you that God didn't come as a king. He came as a carpenter, as a refugee, as someone who looked like you.
And if this face moved you, wait until you see what comes next. We asked AI to show us heaven, not the clouds and harps. Subscribe, you won't want to miss it. Sacred cinema, where ancient truth gets the Hollywood treatment it deserves. Subscribe, share.